If you ever, God forbid, have to draw your concealed carry pistol against a violent threat, are you ready? I mean, are you really ready? And how do you know? Honestly, unless you or I have been in that situation before, we can't really say with 100% certainty that we are ready, or at least what is the level of our readiness. Hopefully you practice. Hopefully you've even had some professional training from a competent instructor. But at the end of the day, how do you really know? Well, one thing you can do is test yourself against an established benchmark of competency. Well, that's what we're going to do in today's video. We're going to take a look at the FBI qualification course that agents have to go through to qualify with a handgun. I'm going to show you how to set it up, tell you what's involved in it, and then I'll actually carry you along with me, and you can see my embarrassing run through the FBI course, qualification course. So I'm just going to let it all hang out here, and that's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me for today's video. We're gonna talk about testing yourself. And I did this a little while back with the Georgia law enforcement qualification course, and I did pretty well on it, to be honest with you. I did it with both with a red dot and with an iron sights, and I passed with both of them. This FBI one is a whole different ballgame for me, at least. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, today's words of wisdom from the Bible, as usual, is from Proverbs 23, verse 12 in the New King James Version. Apply your heart to instruction and your ears to the words of knowledge. Now, I don't care what book that comes from. That's just good, plain common sense. And if that upsets somebody, you need to check yourself. And also, real quickly, a big thank you to my friends at Excess Sights for sponsoring this video and being a channel sponsor. I was a paying customer for years before they reached out to become a sponsor. They're the only sites I trust my life to on any pistol I carry. I actually ran this course with my XS Big Dots that you're going to see in just a minute. They're made in the USA, and SOP 15 is a good little code you need to remember. So I'll say it that way. So now let's get right to it and talk about checking yourself. And I'll show you me checking myself. We're talking about the FBI qualification course that all agents have to go through and pass to qualify with their handgun. Full disclosure, this is not the current target. I've got to go back and get some more targets and do this thing again, and I will. But I think it's instructive what we'll see right now today. So the course consists of 50 rounds fired at a QIT-99 silhouette target. This is just a QIT target, and honestly, the difference is it's a little bit shorter here. The hits inside this whole outline, anywhere, count 2 points each. 50 rounds, so that gives you a maximum of 100 points. Anything outside the target is 0. Every run is timed, so any shots passed after the time's over, they drop as well and count as 0. A passing score is 80 points or 40 hits in here out of 50. And for the instructors, FBI instructors, they have to pass at 90. Okay, so let's get to the qualification stages now. The first stage is at 3 yards, consists of 6 total rounds and 6 total seconds. And this is where the discrepancies I found in the instructions. I did it based on the instructions I had as 2 separate stages. Draw from the holster 3 rounds in 3 seconds, that's 1. Swap hands, go from low ready, and that is 2, another 3 rounds in 3 seconds. However, found a bunch of conflicting instructions that say it's supposed to be a single stage. So draw from the holster 3 rounds, and swap hands 3 rounds the other hand, and 6 seconds. So anyway, I did it the first way. So here's the first one from the holster, strong hand only, draw and fire 3 rounds. And here's the second one, support hand only, fire 3 rounds. And as you can see, I was at 4.04 seconds from the holster with 2 hands, and then 5.03 seconds with support hand only. So not really great. But then we move back to the next stage is 7 yards. And 7 yards, this is from the holster, draw and fire 3 rounds in 3 seconds. And then from the low ready, fire 3 rounds in 2 seconds. Then still from low ready, Fire 6 rounds in 4 seconds. I told you I was going to let it all hang out, warts and all. So the first time, draw and fire 3 rounds from 3 seconds. That was in 4.22 seconds, as you saw. From 3 rounds in 2 seconds, 2.42 seconds, as you saw. And then the last one's the 6 rounds in 4 seconds, man. I screwed the pooch on that one. Not only did I do a really horrible job of qualification prep and allow my pistol to run out mid-stage, but I followed that up with the absolute worst reload in human history. And then I followed that up with forgetting to shoot the last shot. I only shot 5 shots total, and I had a time of 10.35 seconds. So not my best moment. Moving along, the next stage, 7 yards. And the first stage is from the holster, draw and fire 5 rounds in 5 seconds. Next, from the low ready, we're going to fire 4 rounds, reload, and then fire 4 more rounds, and we have 8 seconds to do that. And then finally, the last 7-yard round is from low ready, fire 5 rounds in 4 seconds. Okay, well, as you saw, I was getting closer. The first 5 rounds in 5 seconds, I made it in 5.43. And then from low ready, I had 4 rounds, reload, and 4 more rounds. It's supposed to be in 8 seconds. I did it in 10.23 seconds. And I noticed this. Maybe you didn't. I didn't move when I was reloading, which is a move. Get off the X. As a good friend of mine used to say, motionless operators ventilate easily. That's what MOVE stands for. So move when you're reloading. So pay attention to that stuff. And from low ready, 5 rounds in 4 seconds, I got it in 4.33. Moving along, 15 yards. The 15-yard stage from the holster, draw and fire 3 rounds in 6 seconds. Then from the low ready, 3 rounds in 5 seconds. Amazingly, I seem to have gotten my times a little tighter moving back. Maybe I'm just warmed up. But I was at 6.03 seconds. Man, I almost made the 6-second on the first one. And I beat the 5 seconds on the second one at 4.12 seconds. So, finally, the last stage is at 25 yards. From the holster, draw and fire 4 rounds from standing up, drop to kneeling, and then fire 4 more rounds in 20 seconds. Plagued with difficulties. As you saw, I had a bad round, didn't go bang. I had to do a tap rack. Then I almost lost my balance and fell over when I was dropping to kneeling, but I still made it in 18.53 seconds. So amazingly, I did the best on the furthest away distance, which is that's a fluke in my opinion. So. Okay, well that was a look at my less than stellar first run through the FBI Pistol Qualification course. I said I was going to tell you kind of what you need to set this up and to make it a way for you to check yourself. First of all, you need the targets. And I recommend getting the official targets. This one, by the way, is the old official target, the QIT. They changed about 5 or 6 years ago to a QIT 99, which is about this much shorter. The target there is about this much shorter. I think it still shows this, but it's just got a dark line across here. And maybe a little bit different, I don't know. But so this was the old qualification. But that's what I thought I was buying was the new ones, and this is what I got. So I've got some new ones ordered for the next time, because there will be a next time. But you have to target. You need the requirements. I'll put a link in the video description if I can remember to do that, to where what I think are the correct requirements. You need, obviously, you need your carry pistol and holster, and this is from concealed because the FBI carries concealed. You need 50 rounds of ammo. Then the last thing, you don't have to have it if you got a friend with a stopwatch or something, but it's really good to have a shot timer. This just automates it. You can do it by yourself. And basically the way that works is you set this thing with a random start, so you push the button. When it goes beep, that's when you draw and shoot. And then you can have a par time set so that if you got a 3-second time limit, that it'll beep at 3 seconds. So you draw, it beeps, you draw and shoot, it beeps again 3 seconds later, and if you're not done shooting, then you didn't make the time. And this is about 120 bucks, so it's not super cheap. There are some that are less money than that. This is just the one that everybody I know has got, so that's the one I chose because they all tell me it works great. And this one is, by the way, made in the USA. And you need a little bit of humility, maybe a lot of humility. You cannot allow your pride to cause you to not become as competent as possible. Look, all of us like to practice the things we're good at. I play guitar, and usually when I sit down, I wind up playing the same stuff I played the other day because I like it and I know I can play it. But sometimes you got to stretch yourself. And I think when it comes to being ready for the fight, that is a place to stretch yourself in practice, so that you don't have to stretch if God forbid you ever really need it. Anyway, that's it. I'll put some links in the video description to the shot timer and the targets if I can find those, the correct ones, and the requirements. And good luck. If you carry a pistol, you owe it to yourself and to those you are protecting to make sure you are as competent as possible. And the only way you can verify that is testing yourself. And I think this is a good way to test yourself. And I'm really glad I did this because, honestly, when I did this one, I thought, okay, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm good. I got this. And then I did this one, and it's like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe I might need to do a little work. So, and maybe, who knows, maybe you might need to do a little work. So that's it. I really hope this video has been helpful. Really, I hope you take it to heart and don't just click off and go do something else. Get you some targets, get you a timer, get a buddy with a stopwatch, whatever, and test yourself, because survival is not an accident. Be prepared.